What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. What's up, guys? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. Day one of week two. Very eventful day, especially if you've added one surprise player for today. Biggest surprise player for today. Biggest, literally, the biggest surprise player for today. We'll talk about him in a bit, but my name is JJT with Komish Eric. The biggest surprise and the talk of the fantasy world today, I guess, is Bol Bol.
Yeah.
Do you agree? It's like when he did those, Twitter exploded. Everyone was talking about Bol Bol. 19 points, 4 blocks. And how many rebounds did he have?
5 rebounds. Yes, 5 rebounds. So not much. Just
in
points
20
and
minutes.
blocks.
In 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes. So, do you have any Bol Bol? I mean,
before today, of course, no.
The player. Do you have any player Bol Bol?
Before today, no. But I added him, I think, in one league. Just one.
I added him in two FBW leagues.
Now, do you think this sticks?
And he will be up and down. I think there will be games. Well, so far in the first 4 games, been mixed bag. The blocks, I think, can stick. If he gets 15 to 20 minutes, if this is the number of minutes, let's say 15, 16, 18 minutes, the blocks will stick. I think he's
2 to 3 blocks probably. I think he could get
that's
2 to 3 blocks.
good already if he gets 2 to 3 blocks. Maybe 1.5 to 2, and maybe a 3-pointer a game. Maybe something that's not really high, but it's not nothing. So in a 14 team, 16 team, 18 team, I think you really have to add him to see if he can continue.
We've gotten questions about adding him for certain players, like dropping certain players. One player is Isaiah Jackson, one of our worry player.
No,
it's a 12-team league.
No.
So yeah, no. Unless it's probably an 8-team league or very shallow league. But if it's
I'm not dropping
standard,
I'm not dropping Isaiah Jackson. no way I'm dropping Isaiah Jackson, even in 12-team or 10-team league. His time will come.
Yeah, plus the upside is way higher. I think this is the ceiling already of Bol Bol. He probably won't be able to do a lot of these games, playing it like this way. It was I think just a great matchup for him.
And a bad matchup for Isaiah Jackson. He was again
bad matchup because he was against MB.
If they play for different teams, like Jackson plays for Orlando and Bol Bol plays for Indiana, I would do that because I can see where Bol Bol will get his minutes. But right now in Orlando, where will he get the additional minutes that he needs to be consistent? I don't see it, and it's gonna get worse because Isaac. Even if we just laugh about Isaac, he will come back at some point and he will still get some minutes, even if just 10 or 15 minutes a game. He will still, have to get those minutes. So that's my worry with Bol Bol. I know he's good. It's just that it's deep right now in Orlando. The forward rotation, center rotation.
So just to quell any worries about Isaiah Jackson, he has started once again, and the matchup is just bad. So don't just go dropping him just because he had a bad matchup. It was against Embiid, and I think he was in a bit of a foul trouble. He got 3 early fouls. So not too much of a worry, considering that he's already starting at this point for Indiana. So even if Miles Turner comes back, he's still a hold. A wait and see at that point because he'll probably be coming off the bench. But hold him because the upside is really good for Isaiah Jackson. Other worry players before we talk about the feel good players, since we're at it already. Bam Adebayo. Now here's my thing. I put this on Twitter and I just said, maybe Bam won't be good fantasy wise. Maybe he won't. Last year, we saw it. right? He wasn't as good as advertised or as good as many people expect, as good as draft position, even last year.
Last year, prior to last year, he was better, but last year was bad. This year, so far, not a good start. It's similar to last year. But if he does what he did today, just give me 10 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 block, 1 steal, 1 block, 10 rebounds. I'll even take that already. But we picked him, or people picked him in the top 20. Right? So you would not want 12 points, 13 points, and then
Yeah.
poor field goal for your center. So that is not what we expected, because we heard so much about his being aggressive, the offense going through him, and da. And then this is he shows what he's showing this year. So it's a worry for me. It's a worry for me.
Yeah.
And it's a worry because he's the only big man there in Miami.
Yes.
And he's not rebounding the ball enough. I mean, I don't know.
Tyler Hero had 15
Yes.
rebounds, not points. 15 rebounds today.
For all the talk about him taking more shots and finding his offense, he has taken 5 less attempts this year than last year. If you're if you're gonna believe that. And then rebounding wise, he's rebounding way less than last year, 1.5 to 2 rebounds less than last year, as the only center of the team, playing
here's
with
what's worse.
Trust zero. I mean, come on.
Here's what's worse. He's the only center there, and their power forwards are not big power forwards, not rebounding power forwards. There's really no rebounders other than him and maybe Jimmy Butler. But yeah, he should be playing better. He should be getting more rebounds. The defensive stats aren't even there.
Yeah. 1 steal and 0.9 blocks. Is that enough for you? I mean,
not as a top 20 player.
Although maybe what I would agree with you is maybe Bam is really not that good in fantasy, in the sense that he has never averaged more than 1.1 blocks in his career. 1.3 once, but the rest of the time is 0.6, 0.8, 0.9, 0.8. Maybe people are imagining that he's a blocker because of the block he did in the bubble, the great block he did in the playoffs there in the bubble. People think he's a defensive guy and everything, but in his career, he's averaged 1 steal and 0.9 blocks in his career. Yeah. So maybe that is what he is. That's just really,
And I think with Bam's style of play, I don't know if you see it, but it's not hard to compare him to maybe Anthony Davis, for example. They play pretty much the same way, right? They're athletic, big guys. Not really the style of, not really built as a center, but can be a very dominant power forward. It's just that the stocks for Anthony Davis are elite when he is healthy. That's the major difference. And for Bam, maybe he's more of a bigger, PJ Tucker type or the Pat Bev type, wherein they're good defensively, but it won't show in the stat sheet. So I think, he is worrying, but I think we have to. For me, I'm lowering my expectations on him. I just feel like the sample size is big enough for me not to expect him as a second round player.
And I would think that this is the case. I do have one Bam Adebayo in a 16-team league. He was my second round pick there. I hope, for my sake, I hope he turns this around. But I am lowering my expectation, taking your advice. I think he's more of a 30 to 35 kind of player. If he can improve his field goal from 45 to, let's say, 50%, his career has been 55% in his career. So I'm assuming, just get me to 50, 52%, and then get me 15 points, 10 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, something like that. And I think that would be already okay for me.
Right. Another top 20 player who hasn't really lived up, other than having one good game, is Anthony Edwards. He had a 30-point game prior to this one. And then today, actually, in fairness to him, the Minnesota Timberwolves did play well today, other than Karl Anthony Towns, who we just called out the other day, or quote unquote called out and gave us 27 points and good field goal shooting and a few rebounds more and a few assists more, but still no stocks. But Anthony Edwards, I'm pretty sure I know owners are not worried about Anthony Edwards. I'm pretty sure they're not as worried yet because he gave 30 points plus the potential is always there. It's still early, but you have to be worried, right?
He did have 2 30-point games. So he
Correct.
struggled in his first game, 2 30-point game explosions, and then struggled again today. So obviously the chemistry in Minnesota is not yet there. I'm worried. I'm not worried that his rank is this low. I think the one thing is his free throws are still bad. It's 50 something percent right now. I think that should normalize. The field goal is bad, 40, 41, 42%. I hope that goes up a little bit. So overall, I'm not that worried. But I the thing is, we didn't pick him expecting that he will be the same as last year. We picked him because we think he's gonna go to take another step.
Yeah.
Because he was picked 18th, 19th, sometimes even 16th, 15th.
Yeah.
I mean, second round. So if it's just like last year where he averaged 20 to 22 points, the normal Anthony Edwards, that's not what we want. That's not what we expected. So, worried in that sense. If you picked him in that early, that's worrying.
Yeah. I've been saying it even during the drafts that I just feel that Anthony Edwards being picked in the second round is a little too high. Well, if you pick him 16, 17, I think that's a lot higher than I would
Too
have
high.
wanted. Yeah, I think it's too high.
Too
It's
high.
just that there's no options there. There's lack of options there in that second round that maybe you take your chances on a very good potential player, right? So
Well, I guess right now people would mention the name of Donovan Mitchell, maybe, or even a Bradley Beal, who's been as you're one person who has been talking about Beal being so low in
yeah,
drafts and Edwards being so high. Why is it reversed or something? And so far that's been the case. I mean, these guys have been playing, but the Rosen actually is being drafted even lower than Edwards
yeah,
sometimes. So, looking back, it's not about the lack of options, but people were looking for maybe something new, something different,
yeah. High potential, something
playing the
exciting.
upside. Yeah, yeah.
Something
Then maybe the
exciting.
right way was just to go with the
Yeah,
the Rosans, Paul George.
yeah. Go with the safer guys, the usual suspects there in the
Are you there?
second. Yeah, I'm here. Let me just turn it off and see. All right. All right, I'm here. I'm here. There's just some technical issues here. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get back to the quickie. So that's Anthony Edwards. There's still potential, but as Komish said, looking back in hindsight, which is always 2020, it would have been. I think it would have been better to go with the safer options, safer picks, rather than the exciting but not yet proven picks. That is Anthony Edwards, right? Although Donovan has been playing well, but we haven't seen him play with Garland yet. So
Yes.
the jury is still out there on how they will coexist together and what would be the dynamics. Other guys that are Maxi is another guy we've talked about him in length in one of our quickies. And we've said, looks like he's going to be what the fourth option there most nights, third or fourth options. Him and Tobias would probably go side by side now. The only advantage of Tobias is that he contributes a lot more in the other categories. And Maxi, after a good game, poured in another dud today. And he played 37 minutes, so that's worrying for me and worrying for owners.
The usage today was bad. So I will monitor that carefully. I will not worry about the bad game if the usage was there. The usage was bad. Before today, even if he wasn't really doing much, the usage was there, the minutes was there. So still fine. Today was bad. I don't know why. Maybe
In fairness to Philly, it was in fairness to him, it was kind of a lopsided game. It wasn't really
yeah.
as close. So maybe hold. I mean, these guys, Anthony Edwards, you won't drop them anyway. So we're just talking about them because we're kind of worried about these players performing, and just to see if we should lower our expectations so as not we won't get too frustrated or too stressed out with why is Bam not performing.
Yeah. With Maxi, by the way, the field goal is usually strength. That's why he was being because this guy doesn't pass or assist as much. This guy doesn't steal the ball much. So with Maxi, it's really the field goal, the scoring, the 3-point shooting, the free throw, high free throw. So all of those are not here. And if all of those, even one or two of those fall, like field goal from 48 last year becomes 43 this year, you'll not even be a top 100 player. That is a fact. That is a fact. So be worried. Be worried if his shot doesn't fall.
Yeah. Another player, maybe a couple more, then we'll move on to our feel good player and some of our updates as well. Ben Simmons. I said Ben Simmons. I referenced Ben Simmons as probably a Russell Westbrook 2.0 in the making.
Not yet that bad, but I could see what you're saying. But the difference is at least he's been helping out
and
more
he's younger
in other categories.
And he's younger.
He's younger and he's bigger. I mean, he can help defend power forwards, point guards. He can defend so many things. Whereas Westbrook, as much as he wants to, as much as the effort is there, can't defend big guys. Can't defend big guys. So Simmons at least has helped in that category. I did write that if you're punting free throws and you still don't own him, maybe you float a buy low offer for him. I still think in punt free throw categories, he can still have value this year. Ben Simmons.
Yeah. He's been not good, but he hasn't been totally bad, right? Not really totally. At least he's not shooting too many free throws. That's killing your free throws. The field goal aren't as bad, which is he's a good field goal percentage guy. Sometimes in the 50s, right? But the other categories are nice. He's got good assist rate. The points is not there, but you could understand. There's Kyrie, there's KD, and there's Claxton as well in that team.
Yeah, the points you might be punting points if you have him, but the points, okay, let's give that a pass. He's averaging 6 points a game, so that should go higher though. That should go higher. He doesn't score, but that's too low. Even Draymond scores more than him right now. The thing that I believe will go up is the steals. He's 0.3 steals so far. He's been one of the best guys in steals before. So I think that there will be an adjustment there. If he gets to 1.5, 1.6 at his current stats, 6 rebounds, 6.7 assists, 1 point something steals, solid, but of course not what we want. But if you're punting free throws, as I said, and that would push his rank way higher.
Yeah. Lowry, another player who had an off game today, and I just also mentioned him in our Twitter account that I just feel the expectations of Lowry should be lower. He's been drafted beyond top 100 during drafts, his ADP. And I think the biggest really contributing thing about this is that the Tyler Hero being inserted into that starting lineup is a big deal for a player like Kyle Lowry because he gets pretty much all the usage, a lot of usage. Tyler Hero does. So I think that's a big contributor. But since last season, he hasn't been consistent really. So I think we should expect the same thing.
I think Lowry lost a step already. The age factor, the wear and tear in his body has really hurt him also. He's been he's like Anthony Edwards. He had 2 good games and then a bad game today. That might be what will be his script for the season, up and down season. Overall, still hold for me, but not much upside. I've seen him in trade offers being floated around as a +1. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Some people are trying to get, let's say, KD and Lowry and then get for two solid players, something like that, just to get KD or just to get a first rounder. You add Lowry because there's still name value there. That might be a good strategy because it's just there, name value right now.
Yeah, and some some might see him as also a buy low type of player. But we don't see him as a buy low. I think this is it. This is it for him.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
what you should expect throughout the season. I don't think there's any major improvement. He'll probably have some good games here and there, but I think the assist, if he can just improve a little bit on the assist, I think I'm gonna be good with that. I mean, I don't need him to score much, to shoot much, but get it to more than 5, 6 assists per game. I think, you
I
know,
think the peg is Conley. I think Mike Conley. Mike Conley has been surprised this year. He
played
has
back
he
to
has
back.
played well. Yeah, he played the back to back, and he has played well. He has gotten the steals. He's gotten 4 blocks this year. But that's fluky. But the steals are there. The assists, he's averaged 8.9 assists a game. So yeah, Conley's the peg. If he gets 9 assists and then around 2 steals a game, which is what Conley's doing now, I think you'll be happy if you own Lowry. Like
Yeah.
Jeremy said, that's what you want. That's what you want.
Um, Lastly, of our worry player, Nikola Jokic. I know it's a surprise, but he just pulled off the best triple single today. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Um, your take on Jokic?
I don't think he's healthy. I don't think he's healthy. I know he has a wrist injury. I know he came off the Eurobasket. I think he's tired for one. I see him. I feel like he's tired. I feel like the wrist is bothering him more than we think. He took 4. He was in foul trouble today. To be fair, but he only took 4 attempts. He still played 26 minutes in foul trouble. To take 4 attempts in 26 minutes, even if you're in foul trouble and you're the reigning back-to-back MVP, is there's something off there, right? At least take 9, 10 attempts. You're the MVP. It's not as if Jamal Murray was killing it. He was also struggling. So there's something off, and I think the risk is really bothering him more. He's trying to defer to the others more. Worried a little, but I guess he can't complain. I mean, even if he's struggling, he's still a top 10 player. Not the number 1 that we expected, but yeah, as long as he's playing, I guess we'll be fine.
No, he's had some great games. So let's just take the great games and chalk this as one of the struggling games that he's had. I mean, over the course of a 82 game season, I think he'll probably have some struggles
But
here and there,
but
but
you
it
have
won't.
Jokic, right?
Yeah,
You have
I do.
Jokic. You certainly don't feel it right now. You don't feel the supposed.
Yeah, you don't have the same confidence as you used to have when
Yeah.
he's playing.
Yes.
When you're down in
Yes.
certain categories, you still don't know if he's gonna carry you
Yeah.
to the next day and take that lead. So there's no such. You should have built a really strong group around him, a strong supporting cast. I think that's the key here. If you did not, then that's going to be a problem. There are some teams wherein I didn't build, like the points aren't as good, the threes aren't as good, and these are some of the Jokic weakness, I guess. Uh, quote unquote weakness. He's still good at scoring. He can still shoot threes, but he's not elite in those categories, unlike the steals and the rebounding. So I mean the blocks, the assists and the rebounding. So those teams have struggled a bit. Um, so yeah, I think building around him matters a lot now compared to the past years. Past years, you just throw him out there and he'll probably carry your team to the next round, right? To the next week. So not as confident, but
Yeah.
still, I think he's going to be solid. He's going to be solid. Hopefully, he can get it going in the next. Plus, I think a healthy Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray lowers his value a bit, I guess. The scoring, the
Plus everything
opportunities.
else. The fatigue,
Yeah,
the injury, the wrist injury. So as I said, it's looking at the bright side. At least the injury isn't something that prevents him from playing. So it's not a bust, right?
yeah.
Not he's not. We just have so high expectations and standards for him. His averages of what he's doing right now of around 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists for us is a disappointment. a
but
disappointment.
that's
But
a
also steals. The steals are rather low. Their steals
yeah,
are rather low. Again, the shot attempts are really low this year. And if the wrist feels better, I hope he becomes more aggressive.
yeah. All right. Those are some of our worry players. Just talking about them. We have some injury updates as well. Today, Scotty Barnes did not play. That's why Precious Achua was one of the big surprises today, who is there up there with Bol Bol. Achua had 22 rebounds. Um, is he? I would assume he's a hold for this, and if as long as Scotty Barnes is out. But before Scotty Barnes went down, he's played decently, to say the least.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
sustainable, Achua.
No, we have been here before. Achua, for one, his field goal and free throws, they suck. We know that. For a center, it's really bad. So far, it's not shown, not yet happened, but he will have bad shooting days. Second, Nick Nurse. Chris Boucher played his first game today, played
Yeah,
14 minutes, but you can easily predict that sometimes becomes Boucher who will play right away, and then Achua will get lesser minutes out of nowhere. And of course, Scotty Barnes will come back. So this is a Cinderella run. This is a good stretch of games, but he won't be this good. He won't be this good.
yeah. Just in case some injury updates before we end our quickie with the feel good players. Injury updates. Brandon Ingram would be out tomorrow. Paul George would be out. Josh Giddey would be out. Shea Gilgeous Alexander is out for the second game in a row. So there would be some nice streamers out there. Larry Nance would be a popular streamer. Although like I said, New Orleans doesn't have a great schedule at the early part of the week. They have a game tomorrow and then they have a 2 day break. So if you added Larry Nance, you will be put in a dilemma whether you should drop him after tomorrow or not, because there's going to be a 2 day break after tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll probably drop him. I think Zion won't be out. Trey Murphy, I'll keep. Murphy, I'll hold. I know Ingram is gonna be out for a while,
Yeah.
so I think Murphy will. And Herb Jones, we don't know what status he has really because of that knee.
I mean, Herb Jones suddenly appeared in the injury report. He finished the game, the
Yeah.
last game, and then it's a knee sprain. I think it's a sprained knee. So that could take a while. That could take a while, depending on the severity. He's young though, so he might play through it. But in case he doesn't play, maybe Larry Nance could see extended run there at the power forward position or the small forward position. Trey Murphy, like you said, he should have been added, should not be there in the waiver wires even before today. So yeah, as far as Paul George goes, maybe Norm Powell gets it going. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully.
Also, it's going to be interesting to see how many minutes Kawhi plays without Paul George. Does he start? Will he still come off the bench, or how are they gonna play his minutes tomorrow? And then in the OKC side, who's your pick there to benefit the absence of the guys?
Aside from Trey Man,
Trey Man is the guy, right? Trey Man.
yeah, Trey Man's the guy. But if they want somebody else in very deep league, I would probably go with Aaron Wiggins over Lindy Waters, because Lindy Waters is more shooting 3 points. Isaiah Joe is also 3 points shooting. Of course, Lou Dort, if he's available, I think he's gonna benefit with more usage. I'm not confident in Baisley, but
Yeah, just
I
because he
guess
played 4 minutes last game.
yeah.
I mean, I have him in one league, and I was thinking if I should drop him already or pick up somebody else,
Mm.
but given that there's so many injuries so far in OKC, they might play him tomorrow. Hopefully he does. He gives him minutes, and Poku as the other guy. But overall, I think OKC, no one no one there could give you the confidence that you should add them other than maybe three man, because that's probably the surest thing there among
Yeah.
the players.
For
Yeah,
the players you can add. For the players you can add. Assuming Blue Dart is rostered.
yeah.
Assuming it's rostered.
All right, so feel good players. Ja Morant, MVP week one, MVP season so far. Coincidentally, he wasn't the player of the week in the NBA for the Western Conference. It was Dame Lillard. Um,
Who's
but
another feel good? Who's another
yeah,
feel
we
good?
talked about him yesterday. One of our feel good players. But Ja been really playing really well. And I said, do you agree that he's probably the most exciting player right now?
Yeah.
Someone commented that it's still Steph, but I just feel
No.
like I don't think Steph is as exciting as he was. Ja
Yeah.
Morant
No, no,
is
no.
just a highlight reel waiting to happen all the time.
I'm more Ja Morant. Steph's 3 pointers, yeah, they're exciting, but there are a lot of players who can do that right now, Trey or the others. But I know Steph is the best. Steph is still the best. But what Ja does is different. It gets you out of your feet. You know the way.
Yeah.
Just for today, the alley oops, the jumping athleticism just jumps out at you. So Ja is the most exciting player. Let's
And,
give him that.
we don't want to jinx it, but another person also replied to that Twitter post that Ja Morant is probably an injury waiting to happen all the time because of the crazy bounce that he's
Yeah,
had. Hopefully, nothing wrong would happen. But for the past couple of years, it's because of those types of acrobatics that has got him in trouble health wise, right? Remember a couple of years ago, he also injured, I think, the knee. And then last year, or the ankle last year, I think it was the knee. Um, so that's a bit worrying. But having said that, Ja Morant, feel good player. Ride him.
ride him. He won't shoot 60% from 3 points every for the rest of the year. He's shooting 61% from 3 points. That's why he's been so good. I mean, if he's shooting that well, how can you guard him? I
Yeah.
mean, he's gonna be unstoppable, and we all know this will not be sustainable. It's impossible. If he continues this for the whole season, Memphis will win the championship. I mean,
No, it doesn't mean they win the championship. He'll probably win the MVP if he does this throughout the season. He's going to be the MVP if he does this throughout the season.
yeah, but I think also they'll make some really strong contenders.
Yeah, they will be. His partner Desmond Bain finally broke out today. 8 3 pointers, 38 points. Hopefully, the start of the good Bain that we have been looking for.
He will. He This is the start, and I told you I'm not worried about him, and he was a buy low player for a
Now,
while.
coincidentally, my guy Jalen Brown is on a downtrend for the past two games. And now Bain could be on the uptrend as my guy Jalen Brown is on the downtrend. I think we'll monitor those two because I've always said that Jalen Brown is the better guy over Desmond Bain, and Kamish likes Desmond Bain a lot more. Actually, a lot of managers also like Desmond Bain's potential a lot more than Jalen Brown. All right, we are back. I lost you for
Nawala?
a bit. I lost you for a
Yeah.
bit. But we're still live, so we're still on the
Okay.
recording. So I was just saying that Jalen Brown is on a downtrend as Desmond Bain starts his uptrend, and it's been an ongoing debate between the two of us on who's the better fantasy player or who will end up higher in the rankings this season, whether it's Desmond Bain or Jalen Brown. So hopefully this is the start of the Bain uptrend. I have a few Bains as well. So I am hoping he will be, but he continues to do this not 38 points, but at least in the 20s, right?
Yeah. 20s, efficient shooting, 3 steals, the usual for Bing.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it for Daily Fantasy Quickie, guys. Thank you for tuning in or listening up to this point, and hope you guys can subscribe to our channel. We are closing in on around 500 subscribers. We're trying to get 1,000 before the season ends. I coincidentally, the Twitter followers have been fast. We're already at the 500 mark. But yeah, we're also putting out some content about fantasy on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe there. Every day we're gonna put out a video. And if you're from the Philippines and you have DFS, you want to know more about DFS, we also put out content for DFS. All of them are in Filipino though. So if you're in the Philippines, that might be able to help you with your DFS team. All right, that's it, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye, guys.